guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ntuse for those of you who don't know, and this is my show, The Comfort Zone. If you are a returning subby, thank you so much for the continued support. If you are new here, please stay and do become the part of the supportive gang. So this is long overdue. This is actually the actual video that I thought I was going to post after finding out I was pregnant, but it never went that way. But nonetheless, it's still exciting for me to shoot because this month, October, is actually the month where my son was born. Fun fact, my son was born on the 31st of October, and guess who also was born on the 31st of October? My mom. Yeah, period. God ate with that one. Anyway, so I'm going to shoot this video. Basically, I will be telling you about my pregnancy, everything related to my pregnancy, from finding out, my experience, I do have a note here, so if I keep checking this, I just know good bana, like I've got pointers there, because my other phone is dead. I would be looking at my phone looking all cute, you know, like them girlies do. But anyway, without any wasting more time, let's get into it. Okay, so the first point is about finding out. So how did I find out I was pregnant? So I conceived on the 17th of January. I remember that day like it was yesterday. So a quick backstory ne. I was never the one with like regular period, like on this like each and every month kind of period. Like my periods have always been irregular, to an extent, but I would go like a month or two without having any period. Everything is fine, guys, I promise. It was just like how my body is towards like the whole period thing is. So sometimes it would be like on a random day, you know, like and in a date 8 a.m. sometimes, and sometimes it's just like we skip a month or so and so. So I conceived on the 17th of January. So mid-January, obviously life is cruising until the end of January. I don't know anything. Second month, that's when my mom started, you know, picking up. Go to ikhona into off, sisi, ikhona into off, but obviously like I don't want to hear it. Like, please stop. Like, I don't want to have that conversation with you, because also to me it's weird for my mom to be like, hey, you're pregnant. It's like she knows that I've been, you know, like, oh my god, cringe fest. I'm like, no, let's not have that conversation. I'm not pregnant. I'm literally getting upset. So number one, guys, ne, I've never been on contraceptives. I don't know a thing about contraceptives. Like, if you wanted an advice in connection with contraceptives, I am not that person. When I was young, you know, the normal age where teenagers start doing things, my mom took me to a clinic. Yeah, my mom took me to the clinic. Oh, well, she had a conversation with me. She was like, hey, my mom has always been strict, guys. Like, these talks never been her thing. I'm guessing it's also based on how she was raised. Like, it's stemming on how she was raised. You know, dala some conversation were deemed a taboo. So she was raised like that, and I'm guessing it's something that so she was like, okay, so this phone is in straight, but am I? Okay, there we go. So now it is straight. So she when I was young, what when I was clinic in when I was like, no, I don't want that. Like, I'm from she really did try to get me to but it's something that I didn't even want to hear. Like, that conversation, I didn't want to hear it. And yeah, I've never been on contraceptives until date. Like, I'm still not on contraceptives. So the reason why I became defensive when my mom was telling me that I'm pregnant, or she's suspecting that I'm pregnant, was because, number one, you know, I hadn't always played it safe. but I've never had a pregnancy scare in my life, like my entire life. Like I've never had a pregnancy scare. The reason why I feel like I've never had a pregnancy scare is because, again, as I said, my periods have always been irregular. And now you date like and deny date but get 10 okay 11 12 yeah you understand. So to me it's like it happens. So I was like, no, I'm not pregnant. I kenyani. That was February. March comes, my dad has a dream. But hey, Sana, and get one thing about my parents, like they will dream. Okay, my dad dreamt about it. We tried to have a conversation. They tried having a conversation about it in my presence. I was like, let me excuse myself, which I did. I excused myself, ran away from that conversation. Again, I couldn't do it, but this is the second time now. Like, isn't there anything that's clicking? And then January I didn't have my period. February I didn't have my period. Still I'm cruising. You know. Come March, still no period. At this point I was like, okay, this is weird, where is my period? But at the same time I'm like, this happens, not a big deal. And then fast forward to the end of April, that's when Nama was like, you know what, this conversation is starting to bore me, let me take a pregnancy test so that I can get this out of the way. And me taking a pregnancy test was a way of shutting my parents, like, can we please not have this conversation again? So during this period there were things that I, in terms of cravings, I didn't have cravings, but like there were things that I would do that were out of character. Like for instance, I would get so hot, like nje out of the blue, like I would stay apart name. It's April. April isn't that hot, diphume ndiyohlala phandle kwi-staircases ndiphinde ndingene ekitchen ndiqhubeleke. And then like there were some weird things that I was experiencing, and then a part of me was like, okay girl, time is up, you need to take the test. I took the test, came out positive. I remember when I took the test I was with my cousin Priscilla. We went out the previous night, so I came back and ndayolala kokwabo because it was very late anyways. So before we went home, we bought a pregnancy test. It was me, her, and my other friend Uati. We bought a pregnancy test called Clicks. And my cousin was like, "Sup?" She went to buy the test. So the following day, I'm hungover. I'm just like, let me take this test. I take the test. It's coming out positive. Why are you like telephone, mom? I've never seen that before. The test comes out positive, but we don't know how to read the test. Like, we don't know what we're looking at. Like, none of us have been pregnant before. Like, I'm actually probably the second person to fall pregnant. Friends, it's not our thing, okay? So we don't know how to read this test. We don't know what we're looking at. We go on TikTok, searching, what does it mean? And it being a year later pregnant, it was a clear blue, the one with lines. So the other line is dark, the other one is like faint. But my cousin was like, okay, we don't know what we're looking at. It could be it's because you have got traces of alcohol in your system. Remember, we were drinking the previous night. I was like, yeah, actually, you almost got me with that one. However, I took one that you get two inside the box. I took one name, and then the following day I took she was like, yeah, drink a lot of water, try to detox, and then go home so you will take the test. The following day I take the test. Now the lines are like, there's 2 lines, like they're not faint anymore, like it's 2 lines. Okay, And that's basically how I found out I was pregnant. Coming home and telling my parents was really not much of a big deal to me. My parents already knew that I was pregnant. I didn't even have an opportunity to record my mom telling her the news. I know she would have been so excited, but yeah, it didn't happen because kaloku girl umdala yena utesta ngamehlo. So secondly, my experience and my journey. So when it comes to my pregnancy journey, yeah, it wasn't necessarily the best. So basically, immediately after finding out I was pregnant, I immediately went into single motherhood. Yeah, I walked the journey alone from beginning to end. I didn't have the support that I would have loved. Obviously, I had support from my parents. Jesus Christ, if I wanted them to wash me, they would have. Actually, they did. My mom did wash me at some point because the belly was so big. But yeah, from the other party, there was absolutely no support. I never had support. As soon as I fell pregnant, I guess we saw things differently. And that was it until I gave birth. I went to the checkups alone. I did everything alone. I went shopping alone, bought things for the baby alone, made choices alone, chose clothes alone. And when I say alone, guys, I don't mean like in a literal way. I just mean like, obviously, if like from my side, I was with my parents, but like on the parenting side, I was alone. Or rather on the pregnancy journey, I went through that alone. It was very stressful, I'm not gonna lie. I think I might have cried once or twice, and it got to a point where my parents were really worried, because I was so distraught. I literally could have lost the baby if it wasn't for the support that I've gotten from my parents. They were so supportive, guys. There's nothing that I wanted that I didn't get. Cravings, my mom will get those sorted. I need something moved, my dad will get up and move that out of the way. I need someone to go to the store for me, my brother is gonna go to the store for me. So I had full on support at home. Like I lacked nothing. Financial support, emotional support, physical support. I had everything at home. However, on the other hand, that wasn't the case. So yeah, it was a very lonely journey in that sense. You're watching someone continue with their life as if nothing happened. But yeah, that's just, I don't really have much to say, but I it was distraught, it was scary, it was humbling, but more than anything, it was shocking. Like you get shocked when these things happen. It's like, aibo, sitjhaba sebanje, kusitjhaba lo, sitjhaba. Yeah, so that was I really don't have much to say. I went through my pregnancy completely alone. Okay, so emotional and mental state. In terms of emotional and mental state, I don't think I would have done anything without the kind of support that I've gotten from my parents. Like, I don't want to lie to you. I don't think I would have gone through my pregnancy and came out sane if it wasn't for my parents. However, I'm a very accepting person, more especially in situations I can't change. I will hurt, yes, I'm a human being. However, there's nothing I can do about it. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, okay, it is what it is. But there's always that day, that random day where like everything will come down to you. Emotionally. So yeah, like you will go through it. I've had days where I was crying. I think once or twice, as I already mentioned, I had days where I just felt completely empty, like I was just moving. I've had days where I've been happy, like happy because again my parents kept me sane. But yeah, it was a roller coaster. Sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm stressed, sometimes I'm sad, sometimes I'm excited. All the emotions I felt during my pregnancy. Yeah. Any fears? My fears, my most fear was not carrying full term. I don't know why I had that in mind, but I always fear because I was so stressed, ne guys, because I was going through so much with obviously like the other party. I felt like it's getting to a point where I felt like I could lose my baby. You know, have you stress to an extent, you start feeling something. Yeah, you stress, yeah, from the on your brain, on the heart, and into your abdominal. So nje, like it was like a fear. There were times where I would not sleep the whole night. I remember there was a day where I was just so expressive to the other party, and I that night, like I was so distraught, like I didn't sleep. I went to bed with like I was in bed. I didn't risk sleeping because I had recently read on Twitter, was it Twitter or TikTok? But I recently read somewhere where this other lady was just saying Kutibana how she had a fight with the father of her child while she was pregnant. I don't know if he I think he cheated, and she found that out, and she was crying. She was so distraught, and she went to bed, and when she woke up the bed was red, like literally dripping blood. So she rushed to the hospital, of course, and she had unfortunately miscarried. So there was those days where I would just refuse to sleep because I am so stressed. Like I don't know if ndizawuvuka ndisenomntana, you know. Yeah, it's just one of the things that you go through when you are in the position that I was in. Obviously, it's not the same for everyone. People who have full support from their partners when they're pregnant, I don't think like they think about those things much. But obviously, as a woman, I think it's natural for you to have certain fears. But I think it's different when you have certain kind of support. Yeah. And then regrets. When it comes to regrets, I don't have any regrets. Like I don't regret falling pregnant. However, I do regret my choices. In a sense yokuthi bana, I feel like I'm 100% responsible for the kind of person that I chose to to have a baby with. Okay, chose, I'm using that term loosely because again, I didn't know that I could fall pregnant, but I'll get into that. So I guess like my only regret would be like with the signs there, you know, was I not vigilant enough? Was this and that? But like in terms of falling pregnant, I have no regrets when it comes to that. Like it is the most perfect thing that has ever happened to me. I want to touch on infertility a little bit, okay? So as I had already mentioned, as you guys know, as I already mentioned, from when I was a teenager up until last year when I was 28 years of age, and because I turned 29, what is it? Sorry. When I was 28 years of age, I could not fall pregnant. And I know there were times where I was like, I feel like if it happens, it happens. It wasn't happening for me, you know. So I was stressed partially, but at the same time I was like, well, I'm not married, what's the stress? But at the same time it's like you're looking at your age, you know, you're looking at these young people who are having kids, and I'm just like, well, I'm not really doing anything to prevent pregnancy, but why am I not falling pregnant, you know? So at first you would think it's like the partner that you have, maybe you guys are incompatible, and then like, okay, you know, but nowadays the relationship ends and you find yourself in another relationship and it's like the same thing. Again, I wasn't actively trying to fall pregnant, but I wasn't falling pregnant. So yeah, I can't really say I was infertile. I was obviously not infertile. I am very much fertile because I have a baby. However, I see how one could think that they are infertile. I would advise that you, if you are in a situation where you are trying to fall pregnant and you are not falling pregnant, don't diagnose yourself. Go see a specialist, because now I had always told myself, "Ukutibana, when I am ready to have a child, when I am like now, but okay, I am making a decision now, because when I fell pregnant, it wasn't my decision, it was God's decision. But if I had always told myself, "Ukuthi, if I want to have a baby, like let's say when I hit 30 and I don't have a baby by then, and I haven't done really much to prevent that from happening, I'm gonna see someone, I do think that it was ignorant from my part. I wouldn't advise you to wait that long if you're not on contraceptives and you're trying to fall pregnant and you're not falling pregnant. Or rather, if you feel like something is off, see a specialist, because again, the sooner the better. Okay? Yeah, so yeah. And then what else? Support, as I had said already, from my family. 10 out of 10, like, can't fault it. My family was 1000% there for me, in ways that I've never seen them come through for anyone. I didn't expect anything less though. Ndiyathandwa mnekhaya. Ndiyathandwa shem. But yeah, it's like it's a different kind of love that you experience from people that love you when you're pregnant. I'll say that again. It's a different kind of love that you experience from the people that love you when you are pregnant. So I had so much support from home. And then when it comes to my friends, were my friends supportive? Okay, so I can't say that my friends were or were not supportive. It's hard for me to say that because, number one, I didn't want, obviously I kept my pregnancy private. Again, the reason why I kept my pregnancy private, it's because I felt like I needed to protect it. Number one, because of how the things were between me and the other party. Number two, because it took me so long to fall pregnant, even though I wasn't actively trying to fall pregnant. But I just felt like this is something that I can have for myself. Let me have that for me, which is why I never said anything about my pregnancy until I gave birth. So my friends, obviously, I'm home. I'm working from home, fortunately, so I don't really have time to go out and meet up with my friends. And also, my friends are obviously going on with their lives because kaloku mna ndihleli endlini, and it is by choice. I do believe that if I wanted to be outside, my friends would have been outside for me. As a matter of fact, when we went for a gender reveal, my friends were there. Like, everyone that I had asked to join me for each and every reveal, they were there. So this to me shows that if I wanted more support from them, they were willing to do that. They were just respecting my my choice of keeping my pregnancy a secret. However, I do have a friend who posted my pregnancy before I did. Her explanation was that she didn't know that I was she didn't know that I was keeping it private. Ubone ndipostile, but to me was like, it was close friends, dude. Like, it was close friends. You saw me posting that on close friends. But yeah, that was quite disappointing. And yeah, it does hurt when you're trying to keep something private and someone outs it for you. And I'm here to say, guys, if you ever see someone pregnant at the mall and this person is like maybe like on social media, or you think you know them, if they haven't said anything, sufuna kuviwe ngawe. There are some things, like, more especially as a woman, because men don't do these things, funny enough. More especially as a woman, why are you seeing someone pregnant ufune wena iviwe ngawe, but you didn't see that person say anything about their stomach? Please stop womb watching. Stop womb watching. And I also would like to add that it's important that we respect people when they're pregnant because they're already going through a lot as it is. So nje, don't be that guy like sufuna uba ango that guy, you know. Yeah, so cravings. I never had cravings when I was pregnant. I share. I think it was God's way of saying, but ndizokwenza mntanam ungabi nee-expectations ezininzi since you're already alone in this. But on days where I did have cravings, I'm saying that I didn't have cravings because it was not an everyday thing. Like I would go a week, month even without badly cravings for something specific. So I can't really say I had cravings, but there were days where every now and then, like khaleli beetroot, yeah, or whatever. So I can't really say I had like massive cravings. I can't even remember what I was eating that much when I was pregnant. Is there something that I ate when I was pregnant? I can't remember. I can't remember my guilty pleasure when I was pregnant. So that is pretty much it in terms of my experience. I have to say that you know, having a child it's a whole different like you become a different person. It is such a humbling experience. You see things differently, you see people differently, everything becomes different. You grow, uthanda ungathandi, like you grow physically, you grow mentally, and you grow emotionally. I don't think anyone goes into pregnancy with the expectation of doing certain things alone. I don't really care how your pregnancy came, unless of course it was not lawfully, you know, it was not a lawful way. But like if it came lawfully, I do believe that it's a journey that you shouldn't walk alone. I'm grateful that I had my parents to hold my hand from beginning to end. If it wasn't for them, I don't even think I would still be alive myself, you know, let alone the baby. There are women who go through these things completely alone. Like, yeah, guys, there are women who don't have parents to advise them. There are women who don't have friends, or rather they have friends in a different province, and then let's say for instance someone moves away from home, Joburg because of work, and now you know, as you guys know, like you can only start not working sometimes because in your company, most companies actually, like the only time you stop working is probably like a month or few weeks before you give birth. Other than that, you are wanted there. So some people unfortunately have no choice to go through this thing alone. I don't think there's any anyway, the space is running out, but yeah, that's just like my overall experience, and all I have to say is that be kind, guys, be kind. You don't know what someone else is going through. I had the support that some people may never have. I'm running out of space, and I heard how this video is ending abruptly. I feel like there's so much that I wanted to say, but I didn't get to say. But I feel like there will be a part 2, but it's not going to be a part 2 like a sit down video. From now on, I will be able to just have like certain conversation about my pregnancy. Do you understand? I'll be seeing you guys on my next video. Love you. Bye.